My parents laughed when my younger brother changed the locks on my childhood home while I was still paying half the mortgage, and my dad actually looked at me and said, "You do not live here anymore, so stop acting like you own it." I stood on the porch holding groceries for Mom and realized they had planned the whole thing without telling me. For 3 years I had been sending money every month because Dad kept saying they were struggling. Every time I asked about selling the house or refinancing, he said, "We will figure it out together." I believed him because they were my family. My brother walked outside carrying my old guitar. "You left this junk anyway," he said. I replied, "I paid for half of everything in that house." He smiled and said, "Not anymore." I drove home angry but mostly confused. That night I logged into my bank account and added up every transfer I had made. The total was enough to buy a small apartment. The next morning I called the mortgage company. The woman on the phone paused and asked, "You think you are still making payments on this property?" I said, "Of course I am." She answered, "The loan was paid off 8 months ago." I thought I had heard her wrong. Then she repeated it. Someone had continued asking me for money long after the house was completely paid for. I confronted my parents. Dad did not even look surprised. "We needed help with other bills," he said. "What bills?" "Your brother's business." I stared at him. "You took my money to fund his business," Mom quietly said. "Family helps family." I stopped arguing and simply asked for every payment record I had ever sent. My aunt happened to be visiting when I arrived. She listened to everything without saying a word. Then she asked Dad one question. "How much did they give you?" Dad stayed silent. My brother finally admitted they had used my money to open his restaurant, buy a new truck, and take a vacation they told everyone had been won in a raffle. The room exploded. My uncle slammed his hand on the table. My cousin started asking questions. Nobody had known where the money came from. 2 weeks later my brother called. The restaurant was failing. He wanted another loan. I laughed for the first time in months. "You already spent it." 6 months later he sold the business at a loss and moved back into my parents' house. I used the money I stopped sending to put a down payment on my own place. The last text Dad ever sent me said, "You abandoned your family when we needed you most." I looked around my new living room, blocked his number, and realized they had mistaken my kindness for an unlimited bank account until the day it finally closed.